My name is Anthony Toda. I am a lifelong resident of the city of Jamestown, New York State. The city of Jamestown is approximately 75 miles south of Buffalo, New York State, near the Pennsylvania border. We have approximately 30,000 in population according to the last census. The reason I am making this video is to inform not only the New York State taxpayer, the hardworking taxpayer, but also the federal taxpayer outside of New York State that federal and state monies have been coming into Jamestown and are being spent irresponsibly and wrongfully. We have a mayor, Mayor Samuel Teresi of the city of Jamestown, who has been our mayor for approximately 17 years. And during his tenure, we have had a large increase in welfare and entitlements in the city of Jamestown, an exodus of businesses, and also an exodus of residents who want to work. Now, according to our newspaper, the Jamestown Post-Journal, again this year, there are hundreds of vacant properties and properties that are up for tax foreclosure in the city of Jamestown alone. Also hundreds in Chautauqua County where Jamestown is located. Jamestown we have a high tax rate due to the fact that taxes have been increased several times under Mayor Teresi. And obviously when you increase taxes, businesses cannot afford, especially in New York State, to do business, and they leave. And as I stated, they have been replaced by people who are coming in to New York State, which has a liberal entitlement program, coming into Jamestown in particular because we're on a Pennsylvania border, from other states and even Puerto Rico, and getting welfare and other entitlements such as Medicaid. And that issue, we've had a massive welfare problem within a small city where people are not working, constantly walking the streets. We have businesses, as I stated, that have left the city of Jamestown because of the high taxes and other restrictions that New York State has, and no incentives to keep businesses in the city of Jamestown. So we've had a mayor that has had an agenda which has resulted in an increase of the welfare program in the city, and also a decrease in entrepreneurship, corporations, businesses who want to come into the city to hire people that because of the high tax rate that the mayor has initiated over his tenure are not allowed to come into the city and operate profitably enough to stay inside the city. The welfare problem has resulted, as I stated, in a lot of people with nothing to do. So we have an increase in crime, especially of late. There is several increases in different types of crime. We've had murders here at the end of last year. We have thefts. We've had people that have been accosted. We have a serious drug problem. And now, as of late, we have an arson problem that has arisen, although we've had arson problems in the past. And the arson problems in the past are indicative of what's happening now. Most of the homes that have been burnt are vacant and unoccupied, as far as whether many of them are no longer on the tax rolls because the people who own those properties, as I stated, couldn't afford to live here and vacated those properties, and those properties are on the property tax foreclosure list over the years. We have a police department that refuses to properly enforce vehicle and traffic laws in the city of Jamestown. So what you got is a lot of people that aren't working, that are driving around speeding, bad exhausts, committing all sorts of vehicle traffic violations that are not being enforced by the Jamestown police. So if you're a person that's on entitlements and you don't have anything to do, and you drive around and you can get away with a vehicle and traffic infractions, you kind of think, well, what else can I get away with? And I'm going to look to something. If I can get away with a vehicle and traffic infraction, I'm gonna do something more serious. And that's what's happened. The entitlements, as I stated, are the monies that have been given to the city of Jamestown by New York State and the federal government have been placed in the wrong areas. One example of that is our Gateway train station, in which approximately $14 million was spent on renovations of the Gateway train station. Well, we don't have train service at our station. We didn't have train service prior to the renovation, and we don't have train service after the renovations. That includes freight train service and passenger service. Senator Charles Schumer, Senator of New York State, and the minority leader in the Senate presently, came down after the Gateway station was renovated and said what an economic boost this would be for the city of Jamestown. And that is, we have gone since then continually deteriorating in our economy as far as jobs and our total economic health in the city since he's made that speech. We were deteriorating prior to that, and we are continuing to deteriorate. As I stated, $14 million, no train service. Next to the train service, we have a Lucy Desi Comedy Center, which is being built as we speak, as I speak. That project is going to be around the neighborhood of 40 million at least. So we have two projects which happen to be right next to each other that Jamestown is touting pride and joy of, that cost the taxpayers around the country here over 50 million, well over $50 million, and those projects are not going to do anything for the average citizen to get him back to work. Not going to do anything to bring in businesses to the city of Jamestown as far as a corporation or businesses where people can be employed, and not going to help the crime situation in the city of Jamestown, which has resulted from the massive unemployment and entitlement programs that have been initiated and are expanding in the city of Jamestown. So that's two examples. The Post-Journal, which I have copies of, just to give you an example of what's happened here in the last 2 weeks. We have March 18th, 2 weeks or so, 2017. This is the front page of the Jamestown Post-Journal, which is our local newspaper. The caption states, health risk, 3 city men charged for 6th Street meth lab. 6th Street is inside, well inside the city. We have March 25th, 2017, also front page of our newspaper, the Jamestown Post-Journal. City man indicted on federal drug charges, and there's also a article on the 5 arson fires that have begun, that were in the city of Jamestown in the last 2 weeks. We have had 11 arson fires since the first of the year. We have March 28th, 2017, and that's also a front page article in the Post-Journal, where it is stated from a citizen, we need this more than ever, and they're talking, and I was at the city council meeting when that person spoke, who spoke of vacant housing that is not up to code, deteriorating, drug trafficking in the area of the city where she happens to live, and the arson fires which she was afraid of, which could affect her neighborhood. In March 31st, 2017, also Friday's front page article in the Post-Journal. Search heats up, and that concerns these rash of arson fires around the city of Jamestown. No one has been caught yet for those. So this is the first in a video series that I'm going to submit on YouTube here to make the average taxpayer paper aware of what's happening in the city. Irresponsible spending of money not being allocated where it is needed. For example, jobs, businesses to come into the city, a high crime rate, and wrongful spending of federal and state taxpayers' money. These are situations which are serious and which are continuing in the city, and that the taxpayer inside and outside of the New York State has to know that his hard-earned taxpayers' money is being irresponsibly and uselessly spent in our city. Thank you for listening.